Hi, my name is Lori Assaf, and I'm going to present on a literacy makerspace camp in rural South Africa, engaging in critical literacy and language learning. The purpose is to explore how engaging in a literacy makerspace camp in one rural community provided primary grade learners opportunities to engage in critical literacy and language learning. What is a literacy makerspace? A makerspace is a space where a community or a school provide an opportunity for individuals to come together to make artifacts using high-tech and low-tech materials. Literacy makerspace is where you incorporate reading, writing, listening, viewing, presenting with a variety of digital and non-digital materials. Critical literacy is about positioning readers to read the world as a text. So to pose problems, to interrogate what they encounter in the interest of social justice. A critical literacy mindset really is this way of helping children engage in learning that encourages solving issues relevant to their lives and being positioned as knowledgeable and powerful members of their community. The research methods included 16 primary grade learners, teen mentors, 4 community members, 10 pre-service teachers who were part of a study abroad program that I facilitated in the Eastern Cape, 1 local teacher, and my partner, another university professor. We used field notes, photos, and videos of the camp, children's makerspace artifacts, and photo analysis and synthesis of photos and related reflections from the pre-service teachers. We used constant comparative analysis and deductive content analysis to make sense of the data sources. Our daily activities started from 9 and went till 2 p.m. with snacks and games in between. We had small groups of 3 pre-service teachers, 2 teen mentors, and 4 primary grade learners in groups. We would read, discuss, think and plan, make, reflect, and present. And we did this multiple times each day around different topics. We had community guests who presented, and we had a community celebration. And we worked from the CAP's first additional language goals. We followed these literacy making steps. So we framed the camp around a theme, and we paired that theme with problem-based literature. We engaged the children in naming or defining a problem, brainstorming solutions, designing something to solve that problem, testing that artifact, and then improving it. Within that process, children were engaged in the making process by using recycled and craft materials, as well as some digital tools. Through each cycle, the children reflected both on the process of making and engaging in small groups and individually, and then we shared through each cycle through presentations, and then finally a community celebration. Our theme was community innovators. So we started by reading 2 problem-based pieces of literature, The One Plastic Bag and The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. Both books position children as identifying problems in their community and creating solutions. And those solutions weren't easy. Each character, these are memoirs, they're based on true stories on the continent of Africa in different countries. So we read these, and we had many different discussions around these books. We engaged the children in making materials, those non-digital craft materials and recycled objects. We used plastic water bottles, buttons, cardboard boxes, ribbon, as well as digital tools. We had mobile phones, tablets. We worked in the community computer hub. We had PowerPoint access. We used YouTube and word cloud websites, to just give you a few examples. Here's an example of what the students did. So we read and discussed, and then we engaged in the community walk, where we asked the children to take pictures and identify issues in the community that they wanted to solve. So you see a list here of the different items that one group identified. Then we engage them in this define and design process using this graphic organizer. So asking them to define a problem, imagining solutions and brainstorming what those solutions would be, choosing one solution to engage in what would it look like, what materials do I need, creating that innovation, and then testing it. So sharing it with another group, receiving feedback, and then eventually, ultimately improving it so that it meets the needs of the identified problem. And then here are some pictures of the children making. You'll see them engaged in the actual creation, the writing, and then holding up the objects and presenting. When the students presented, they had to engage in a great deal of reading, writing, and presenting. So they wrote up scripts for their video presentations. They had to read those scripts numerous times before they were videotaped using smartphones or tablets. They had to type up presentations with embedded videos. Then they presented those to the whole group and then to the community. And then we engage in a great deal of reflection and discussions around these presentations. In the end, what we discovered is that children did develop a critical mindset. They started to name and notice things in their community that they wanted to have solved. They started to reimagine themselves as people who had the power to change things. They started to create what if solutions around those issues and engaged in very flexible thinking. They used materials to problem solve and to innovate. So they would get a material and get a piece of recycled artifact and start thinking about how would this really help them? How could it help them create something to solve a problem? And they identified themselves as knowledgeable members in the community, knowing what was good for their community. We saw a great deal of language learning. So we're looking at opportunities. The children engaged in purposeful and authentic language use. They utilized their full linguistic repertoires, including expressing themselves through the multimodal resources that they were using to create objects. And we embedded multiple instructional scaffolds. The teen mentors supported the children in their mother tongue, as well as code switching and feeling comfortable expressing themselves in multiple languages. The visuals, the artifacts, and the actions involved supported their language learning. Here's an example of how you could frame a literacy makerspace. So you can frame it with a theme and then paired problem-based literature. So you could pick a theme like courage, innovation, perseverance. And then when you're reading the books to the children, you can ask, how did the character solve a problem? Did the character's idea work? Is there anything that they could have done differently? Did the character work independently or collaboratively, and why? Why would that matter? So here are many different examples of problem-based books that you could use, and we found that no more than 2 at a time, pairing 2 is a very useful strategy. Here are some professional references that we used in our research, and here is a list of the children's picture books. And I appreciate your time, and I thank you very much. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or WhatsApp me. Thank you.